Hi, I'm sorry you're not getting a lot of great help with your child. I'm quite concerned. I'm not a doctor, I'm just a movement specialist, but I don't think you're in the right hands. I would actually go for genetics. I think genetics really needs to be looked at with your child. Here are the reasons why. The hypoglycemia at birth. Does she have a fatty oxidation disorder? Is she doing something where she can't take in her carbs correctly? That needs to be looked at. Organic acid should be done. Again, I'm not a doctor. I've gone through a lot with my son and with other kids, and I pay attention. But again, with the kids, when there's been an incident at birth like the hypoglycemia, they kind of look at that like, oh, that's what happened. Are they looking at, does she have an endocrine issue, or she's going in and out of that? So that needs to be looked at. The instability that she has in her system, and with the GERD, I'd really seriously have her eyes checked. Why? What she's doing might be giving her literally a form of motion sickness. A lot of people don't think that with the babies, but like if I'm going here with my child, right? I'm gonna turn this movement thing off because it's gonna watch me more. So, oh no, it is gonna watch my baby. When you're doing these kind of movements, right? Literally, she could be getting seasick, right? And you don't want that with your baby. You want her to eat. And two, if she's not seeing it, if I turn around and I did this to you, let's say, if I gave you your favorite meal in the world, but I came up behind you and stuck it in your mouth, you'd want to hit me, right? It's not a pleasant experience to be able, if you can't see your food. They might see their food out here, but as it gets closer and stuff and she's moving around, right, and it's not going in, and that's what could be causing the GERD. If she's on these kind of medications too, are you with a gastroenterologist? Because she should be scoped at this point to rule out eosinophilic esophagitis, EE. That could be another thing. Barrett's esophagus. You know what I mean? A lot of peds and neurologists mean well, but they're not a specialist in gastro. Now, if she's going to a gastroenterologist, that's one thing. So, but again, these are things that need to be ruled out with your child. The other thing is the hips. She needs hip x-rays yesterday. I don't like what's going on there. And so, and this is where I want to work with you. You know, she's got the instability in sitting, but she's got the instability with the hips. Just like my doll, the hips aren't meant to go out like this. And so when they do, this is where you get a midline interruption because the hips aren't doing that kind of thing. And the fact that literally she can splay at a 90-degree angle, is it hip dysplasia? Is it something like EDS where she's got hyper mobility within the pelvis? And this is also what's causing the instability here with the sitting, that she just can't, because in sitting, you know, you're supposed to be able to move your thighs, not the muscles, but your thighs, almost like a kickstand going in and out of it to get stability. So you're going to want to work with your child. And again, I just did a live on this, and I'll repost that one as well. But it's the same thing. I want head visual stability. You're not holding the head, you're just here, but you're also working on that pelvis to stabilize. She needs stabilization and she doesn't have it. And just to be taught, again, CP diagnosis, if it's there to help with services, I get that, but they're just going to start throwing equipment on her, and do not let them do AFOs, because that's the standard care without someone doing hip x-rays. I'm the first person to tell you, because they did it for me with club feet. Nobody checked my hips, and I have crooked legs for life. So, you know what I mean? I'm talking with experience, not because I'm a worrier. That's not it. But you're going through enough, and I don't think you're getting the right help. If you have to change doctors, change doctors. But I would really be at genetics at this point to see about what's going on with her system. And those hips have to be x-rayed. Again, when I say has to be, again, I can't stress enough, guys, I'm not a doctor. I'm a movement specialist. I'm seeing signs of that I don't like. But if you decide you don't want to do the x-ray, if you decide, if you're in your doctor's just not in it, or the genetics, I understand, right? But I'm just saying, I think you're going down the wrong rabbit hole. And again, that diagnosis of CP might be correct for you to get services, but it's not what she has. She has neuromuscular issues, but it's not. I'm not seeing the cerebral palsy in it. But again, she needs help. That I understand. So that's where you have to go that route. But I'll tell you one thing: having a son who was deadly ill with infections, when they gave him the autism diagnosis, it was the worst thing because they stopped looking. Right? When my son had a 22,000 white count, they're like, oh, it's the autism. No, it's not. My son is autistic. I can deal with that. He's sick. But they really thought I was looking for a reason to blame the autism with him being sick. No, I was trying to save my son's life. And by the way, he had Haemophilus influenza, staph, preseptal cellulitis, sepsis. My son could have died 15 ways to Sunday. And so I just had to be on top of it, and it's not easy. I get it. It's like you said, this is your first time, but it's got to be done, and I don't think you're getting the proper help. So I hope this helps. You have to work with her movement. She's got to start progressing in milestones. But we got to stabilize her system medically, and the GERD shouldn't be going on that long. Thanks.